Well, if there's a blower in the background, you know I'm not in some tropical island somewhere. Well, maybe they have blowers there. I shouldn't say that. But there are certainly lots of blowers in California. You hear the blower? There's always a blower in my videos. Either a blower or a plane, one or the other. Look at this, you guys. Okay, so I'm driving along, again, minding my own business, trying to get down the road, and I just have to stop and make a video because this is such a great example of king palms from Australia. Okay, so king palms are pretty cool. They're from Australia. They have adapted to California really well. But what's interesting, so I'm down here in Oceanside, California, and I was just driving along. I was telling my daughter, who's patiently waiting inside that car wanting to go surf. I'm like, sorry, I gotta make a video. I just picked her up at the train station. Look, there's the beach. See, there's the train. Oh, there it comes. There it comes. You'll see a train. So just beyond the train is the ocean. And here it comes. Oh, where is it? There it is. That's the train she rode down here. But anyway, just beyond that train is the ocean. So I'm probably like about 8 blocks from the ocean, probably a quarter mile, maybe a third of a mile. And the king palms down on the ocean look like hell. Horrible, just horrible, horrifically bad. Okay? But all you need, and it's because of the oceanic wind and the salt air and everything, but all you need to do is step off the ocean just a little bit, and then you have these beautiful, beautiful conditions for king palms here. Yeah, so these are multiple trunk king palms. And you mind if I'm taking a video of your palm trees if you're wondering what I'm doing? No, go ahead. Is that all right? No, that's all right. It's fun to make sure you knew what I was doing. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel about plants. I don't want to freak anybody out. You got some beautiful trees. Yeah. So, yeah, they're from Australia, and in this situation, every one of them is a multi, and they're the garden is really beautifully planted because it's a very simple design. Yeah, I'd love to interview you actually if you don't mind. Telling people. I was going to say, what's your trick?
Well, Miracle Grow is something that kills many plants because it has a high level of salt.
I want to get you with your king palm.
Because it has a high level of salt in it, okay? So Miracle Grow, if you use it on a lot of different plants, it'll kill them.
Okay.
But when I got my kings, when I bought them, they were only about this big around.
Yeah, okay.
I noticed that the guy had boxes of this sitting around his yard.
Okay.
And he said they're heavy feeders. And so what I did is on every one of them, I built a berm around it. Just dirt. Okay. So that when I did water them, I wouldn't just put the water on and have it go away.
So they love water.
And I always watered them with this Miracle Grow in it.
Oh, okay.
The other thing I did is I got a 2-gallon pail, like from Home Depot.
Okay.
And I marked a gallon on it.
Okay.
Because if you just stand there with a hose, because I thought to myself, well, I don't know if I'm overwatering them or underwatering, and if I use a hose, I'll have no way to correct what I've done.
Right.
So I would always use, like in the summertime, 2 gallons.
Okay.
In the wintertime, I'd use 1, and I'd wash them, and that happened to be a good guess. They were happy with that.
Okay.
But rather than just standing there with a hose, and then always the Miracle Grow. And I've had more people tell me,
these are the best king palms I think I've seen anywhere in California.
Well, that's the best.
And you're pretty close to the beach. You still get a lot of that oceanic wind here.
Yeah. One advantage I have is you'll notice that most of these houses are built on slab foundations.
Okay.
This house here was built in '58, and you can see that it's
raised up.
Yeah, so they brought in all of this dirt, and I do happen to have really, really wonderful dirt.
Okay, that's part of it.
That's part of it.
I think also one thing I was thinking I was going to get into this, and I'm glad you came out to tip me off on some of these things you did. Well, I'll tell you, they've got incredible caliper, the width of the trunk. Yeah. The crown shafts are absolutely enormous. I mean, that's as big as I think I've ever seen right there.
One other thing I did that I think
here's my hand. I don't know.
I was always concerned that we could get a heavy rain or that I would overwater them. And so on every one of these, when I dug out the hole, I got you know what a hole digger is,
Oh, yeah.
And I dug down a pilot hole, and I filled that with rock.
Oh.
And I thought to myself, if it's the proper amount of water, then the tree is going to hold on to it, and that's not going to do anything. But if they're overwatered, because again, I've never planted them, and so I did that on every one of them, so that in case either I or a rainstorm overwatered them, it wouldn't kill them.
That's interesting. They're from a pretty tropical, wet environment in Australia.
Yeah.
So they should be able to handle just about any amount of water, assuming the roots haven't been cut. Like if you just transplant, you cut all the roots, then you dunk it in water and let it sit there. That could be a problem. Yeah. But yeah, the caliper's huge. Here's my big old ugly foot.
My wife
right
and I
there.
remarked, we actually planted all of those first, and it came back about 2 years later and planted these. But we'll look at these trees. We just laugh ourselves and we go, look at the size of those things.
It's not only the size, but it's the foliage, like how many fronds they're holding that look really good.
Yeah.
Usually these king palms have like 4 or 5 out the top that look pretty good. Yeah. And then the ones that have been on there longer, a little more beat. And then the lower ones.
In half a mile,
oh man,
turn left onto Soto Street.
I still got my directions on. I'm going to surf it. But the lower ones are still really good condition. And so.
But I do the berm so that when you do put in your half a gallon or gallon, it's going to go into the tree.
Right.
And the only reason for the half and the 1 gallon is that in the wintertime you could back off and I don't know that you could tell if you were overwatering.
This guy's famous for his king palms.
He's famous for a lot.
Oh, a lot of things. Okay, good. That's just one of them. You'd be more famous now.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
What I want to say about your design too, it just shows you how, with a really simplistic design, all you have here is this beautiful lawn, and then just a whole bunch of king palms, and then some bird of paradise down underneath them, little Kentia palm in the corner.
And what's fun is that this neighbor here.
Oh.
You see, that's not mine.
All right.
But it flows together.
And so you have 2 quads next to each other.
That was the other thing. When I got them, when I got these, quads and triples weren't really popular. He said, listen, you can just cut off these extra ones. He says, do you want me to cut these off now? And I thought, something inside of me said, no, wait.
Yeah.
Because I really couldn't find any around here that I could find some doubles.
Right.
But I thought.
Yeah.
And I can't even tell you how many hours I spent on here waxing over where to put them. And, but
I love the layout. It's like
it's rare in my projects.
South Seas.
It's rare that I have zero hindsight. Normally I have. Well, if I could do it again. Yeah. And so,
you love the way you did it.
Yeah. Because we didn't want to block. Our view out this window is our funnest thing about our house. So
right.
We didn't want to.
That is a word.
That up.
I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Look at this. So here's the quads. Look at this. What's so cool about these quads and the doubles and the triples. Every one of them is a multi. You got your 2 matching doubles out front here. That looks really good. But look at this. This was one little container. Was it a 5 gallon or a 15 gallon?
5 gallon. In fact, I used to worry when I planted them that some kid was going to come by and grab one of them and break one, because old pictures I have, they were like this.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's also the theory that when you plant stuff smaller, it gets more vigorous because it's been in the space, it's never been moved or anything.
Sometimes I've ran into this with avocado trees, trying to put in really large trees, and they just don't make it. It's just you're right. The younger has a better chance.
Yeah. And so look at this. This is just so cool. All right. Yeah, I gotta just show the scale really of all this in here. This is what you get when you look up at your king palms. It's just absolutely spectacular. And these king palms are so nice because they're self-cleaning. Yeah. You probably trim them before they become self-cleaning because they're so well groomed.
I do, what I've done is I've gone and I've got tree trimming poles and I have married them together, so I've got ones that'll go up like 20 foot.
Right. Okay, here's one that's just getting ready right now to fall off, just starting to right there. It'll brown out and the whole
piece. I've had 4 come off.
Oh, by themselves?
Yeah. We'll be in the house, all of a sudden we'll hear.
Oh, there she is. Sorry. I promise we'll go surfing right now. Bob, what's your name?
Cody.
Bob, tell Cody how awesome his palms are.
They're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you short boarders. Yeah.
No, we're going longboarding.
Are you longboarders?
I think we're going to run up to either Trestles or maybe Old Man's.
Well, the trouble with Old Man's, which is my favorite place, is that you can't get in.
What do you mean?
You can get there at 5 in the morning. You can get there at 4:30.
Right now, you don't think we can get in?
Oh, no. There'll be a line.
Oh. We'll go to Trestles then. That's an easy one.
Well, actually, Terramar is a really good long.
That's I have a place in Vista. That's our closest break, and that's where I go all the time. That's where we were thinking about just going straight there, but maybe just go straight there. Yeah. But model in front of the trees. Woo! Look at the king palms.
Well, thank you for the
compliments. All right. Okay, Cody.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing a good job. Right. I think another reason these trees are doing so well is you have lawn irrigation all around them, and these roots go really far.
Well, you do bring up a good point. I don't really water the trees anymore. They're old enough where they've gotten in here, and I water 3 times a week. So, but the thing about palm trees that gets me, like these Washingtonians here. Okay, I fertilize my lawn and I water my lawn. But if you look at my trees, as opposed to these that are surrounded by concrete.
Right.
Shouldn't mine look like 5 times better, or at least twice better?
Well,
there's no difference.
Yeah, you know why that is? It's because the concrete actually captures moisture.
But what moisture does it capture?
It's bizarre. So I knew a guy named David Gress. He was the head of all Santa Barbara trees back in the 80s, and he had these beautiful king palms growing in the sidewalks, and it looked like there weren't even water in them. I'm like, how is you doing this? It doesn't. All the rain comes down, the sidewalk reflects the water.
Absolutely.
And he said, all we do for 2 or 3 years is go by there once a week, dump a bunch of water on them for the first couple of years. After that, they get their roots under the sidewalk and they thrive because the moisture gets captured.
That has to be true because, well, if you look at these here, they're surrounded by concrete. Even if it rained here once in a while, which it doesn't.
Yeah.
Even if it rains.
Isn't that bizarre? I've often wondered that.
And look at this. Look how tall these things are.
Yeah. They love it.
And then the last thing is that you would think that mine would be like 20 feet taller or some difference.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're all uniform.
And these get fertilized and watered.
Yeah. Isn't that a trip?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great. And the city's doing the trimming for you along the road here for the Washingtonians?
Oh, no, I won't. Oh, the Washingtonians, yeah.
Yeah, they're beautiful trim jobs on them.
I have a pact with the guy with the kings down at the corner. Whenever the tree guys come out, we watch. We don't let them cut our trees.
Oh, yeah, you got a whole line of them down there. Look at that.
He actually got me started on these. I went around I was trying to figure out what kind of palm trees I wanted, and I got down to where I just loved the way that those trunks look.
Yeah.
And I pulled in there one day, and he said, he says, these things will fall off, and they'll be as big as Volkswagens. Well, he meant a Volkswagen bus. I thought he meant like a Beetle. These are like 18 feet when they come down.
Oh, yeah, 18 feet long.
And so then I have to cut off the husk, because you can't put 18-foot thing in the trash can. Right.
And then are you cutting off all the flowers?
Yeah. Well, interesting you asked that.
Because I'm going to come get seed off these. These are nice trees.
Well, in fact, in the trash can back here right now is a big husk that just came off.
Are there seeds on it? You probably didn't let them mature. It's probably just the flower, right?
Well, I don't know.
I'll take a look.
What I do in about October, I let them go, and I'll end up with about 25 to 28, and then we put lights out here, and we decorate, and we shoot the lights up onto those.
Oh, neat.
So at that time of the year, we leave them.
All right.
But I'm just guessing that these trees are supporting those, and I'm thinking they don't need to support those. I cut them off so they support the tree.
Yeah. No, they look great. It's a good job. I think she wants to go. You want to go?
Thank you.
All right, Cody.